Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So can somebody please read?
Deepika Payal, any of you?
I can read.
Cannot?
Rasa, satinity, the transcendental qualities of Shanta Rasa, Dasha Rasa are certainly present. But beyond these, there is another quality, confidential attachment, which is pure transcendental love. This confidential attachment for the Supreme Personality is technically known as Vishramba. On the platform of Vishramba, there is no sense of awe or veneration toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, in the transcendental fraternal relationship with Kiras, there are three transcendental characteristics: the sense of greatness, the sense of service, and the sense of intimacy without awe or veneration. Thus, Sakhiras adds one transcendental quality to the qualities of Shanta and Dasharas.
So yesterday we were hearing about Shantaras, that there is the appreciation of the greatness of the Lord. Then in Dasyaras, not only there is the appreciation of greatness of the Lord, but there is also the desire to serve, because the love has become more. So out of love, then the living entity wants to serve. Now in Sakyaras, now the love has become even more condensed. It's become more, the attachment has become more. And so because in Dasya, there will be that distance, no? Or that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and I'm his servant. But in friend, it's more sweeter. It's very intimate. How, when you're good friends, you laugh, you joke, you play the fool, you have games. So it's more intimate, it's more sweeter. So that is Sakyaras. Sorry. Okay.
Similarly, on the platform of parental affection, Vatsalya Ras, there are four qualities. In addition to the three qualities already mentioned, there is the sense that the Supreme Lord is dependent on the mercy of the devotee. As a parent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee sometimes chastises the Lord and considers himself the Lord's maintainer. This transcendental sense of being the maintainer of the Supreme Maintainer is very pleasing to both the devotee and the Supreme Lord.
So now, when we do something for another person, then we want to take credit for it. Hey, I did it. I'm so great. You are there because of me. Because of me, you're able to do such things. But here, Krishna, he feels more pleasure when the devotee wants to become his parent. When the devotee has this mood that I'm maintaining Krishna. Well, it's all out of love, huh? There's no pride, there's no false ego, there's no arrogance. It's all based on sweet love. That the living entity loves Krishna so much that the living entity is thinking, oh my God, if I don't take care of him, he's gonna die, he's gonna get malnourished. If I don't discipline him, he's gonna become a thief or a robber. That's the mood. And it's pleasing to both the living entity and to Krishna. Both. Then, of course, Yashodamai, she's the highest on this platform, and she's no ordinary living entity. She's Krishna's own personal expansion. She comes in that category. Yeah. So,
The Lord instructed Srila Rūpa Goswāmī to write the transcendental literature named Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the science of devotional service, and indicate therein the substance of the 5 transcendental relationships with the Lord: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhura Rasa. It is explained that great literature how the transcendental relationship of Shantaras taking the shape of unflinching faith in Krishna is further developed into Dasyaras with the spirit of service, and then to Sakyaras or undeterred fraternity, and further to the transcendental platform of parental love, wherein one feels himself to be maintaining the law. All these transcendental relationships culminate on the highest platform, conjugal love, Madhura Rasa, wherein they all exist simultaneously.
So Srila Prabhupada is saying that all this knowledge of the rasas, Lord Chaitanya gave to Srila Rupa Goswami, and he instructed Rupa Goswami that you write about these rasas, the relationship that every living entity has with Krishna in this great book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Srila Prabhupada translated as Nectar of Devotion. And then here, what Prabhupada is just saying, that in Shantaras, there is that firm faith, the steady faith in Krishna. It's not going to, that faith is not going to get shaken. It's not going to get less. It's not going to go away. You know, we may have some faith, that's Shraddha, but that faith sometimes is there, sometimes not there. It's wavering, you know, but this is unflinching faith. So that's Shantaras. Then in Dasyaras, there is this unflinching faith, and there is this desire to serve, the spirit to serve, because the love is more. And then, of course, then it becomes more loving, more intimate. So then there's friendship. Then even more loving becomes as a parent. And then the highest is Madhurya Ras, because it has all this. It has the unflinching faith, it has a desire to serve, it has the intimacy of friendship, it has also that affection, that, you know, to do things for the beloved, taking care of them. So, and also in conjugal rasa. So all is there in that, and that's why it's the highest. So that brings us to the end of chapter 1. And then we begin chapter 2.
Shantana Goswami. Vande Ananta Bhutaiswaryam Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Nichu Api Yat Prashadat Shayad Bhakti Shastra Pravartakaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a person in the lowest status of life can find direction in transcendental devotional service to the Lord. After the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life, sannyas, he traveled all over India. During this period, he went to Malda, a district in Bengal. In that area, there was a village named Ramakali, where 2 government ministers of Nawab Hussain Shah's regime lived. These 2 ministers, who were brothers, were named Dabira Khasa and Sakara Malika. Later, they were renamed Rūpa Goswami and Shantana Goswami, respectively.
Sanatana Goswami.
Sanatana Goswami, respectively. They had a chance to meet Lord Chaitanya, and afterwards, they decided to retire from government service and join his Sankirtana movement.
So these are the 2 brothers, the Birka Sakara Malik, Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They were in the service of the Nawab Hussain Shah. They were living in Ramakeli. They were, of course, very great Brahmanas, coming from very, very good Brahmana families. But now they are taking up service in the government. And then Lord Chaitanya went Ramakeli especially to meet them. And then they said, okay, now they want to give up. They wanted to give up the service. They wanted to retire and full-time dedicate themselves to Lord Chaitanya.
Upon making this decision, the two brothers at once took steps to leave their material engagements, and they appointed the two learned brahmanas to perform certain Vedic religious rituals that would enable them to achieve complete freedom for the devotional service of Krishna. These preliminary ritualistic functions are known as Purashcharya. They require the 3 times a day one worship and offer respects to one's forefathers, offer oblations to a fire, and respectfully offer food to a learned Brahmana. 5 items: the time, the worship, the offering of respect, the offering of oblations into the fire, and offering of food to a Brahmana constitute Purashcharya. These and other rituals are mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, an authoritative book of directions of Vaishnavas.
So they want to leave the service, and so they're engaging some brahmanas to do this religious rituals.
After arranging for the performance of these religious rituals, the younger brother, the Bira Khasa, Rūpa Gosvāmī, returned home with an immense amount of money which he had acquired during his government service. The silver and gold coins he brought back filled a large hold. After arriving home, he first divided the accumulated wealth in half and distributed one part to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Thus, for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he distributed 50% of his accumulated wealth to persons engaged in Supreme Lord's transcendental loving service. Brahmanas are meant to understand the absolute truth, and once they understand the absolute truth and actually engage in the loving service of the Lord, they are known as Vaishnavas. Both Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are supposed to fully engage in transcendental service, and Rūpa Gosvāmī, considering their important transcendental position, gave them 50% of his wealth. The balance he again divided in half. One part he distributed to his relatives and dependent family members, and the other half he kept for personal emergencies.
So now Rūpa Gosvāmī, he retires first, and he's very wealthy. Imagine having a boat full of gold and silver coins. Very wealthy. So how did he distribute his wealth? What did he do?
He distributed wealth in half.
Yeah.
One part to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas.
Yeah, so he had one full boat of coins. So half the boat full of coins, he's giving it to the Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. So then, Brahmana, who is a Brahman, means one who has understand the absolute truth, who's gotten the Brahman realization. That's a Brahmana. He's understood the absolute truth, the Supreme Brahman. And then, such a Brahmana, when he understands the actual nature of absolute truth, he starts engaging in the service of the absolute truth. He's called Vaishnav because means he's understood Krishna. So Vaishnav is higher than a Brahmana. A Vaishnav is always a Brahmana, whereas a Brahmana may or may not be a Vaishnav. Yeah. So that's why he gave half the wealth to the Brahmanas, and then the balance half, again, 1/4 he gave to his relatives, and then a quarter he kept for personal emergencies. So means 50% he gave to the devotees, 25% to his family members, and 25% he kept for emergency. This is because he's retiring now. So that's why he's able to do such a thing.
Such distribution of personal wealth is very instructive for all who desire to be elevated in spiritual knowledge. Generally, a person bequeaths all his accumulated wealth to his family members and then retires from family activities to make progress in spiritual knowledge. But here we find the behavior of Rūpa Gosvāmī to be exemplary. He gave 50% of his wealth for spiritual purposes. This should serve as an example for everyone. The 25% of his accumulated wealth he kept for personal emergencies was deposited with a Bengali grocer. since in those days there were no banks. 10,000 coins were deposited for expenditures to be incurred by his elder brother Sanatan Goswami.
So he's also kept some money for his brother because he can foresee that his brother might need it now soon. So of course Prabhupada is saying there were no banks, so they put it with a grocer.
At this time, Rūpa Goswami received information that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preparing to go to Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri. Rūpa Goswami sent 2 messengers to get actual information of the Lord's itinerary, and he made his own plans to go to Mathura to meet the Lord. It appears that Rūpa Goswami got permission to join Lord Chaitanya, but Sanatan Goswami did not. Therefore, Sanatan Goswami entrusted the responsibilities of his government service to his immediate assistant, and he remained at home to study Srimad Bhagavatam. He engaged 10 or 20 learned Brahmanas and began an intensive study of Srimad Bhagavatam in their company. While he was thus engaged, he submitted sick leave reports to his employer, the Nawab. But the ruler was so anxious for Sanatan Goswami's advice in government matters that one day he suddenly appeared at his house. When the Nawab entered the room where Sanatan Goswami and Brahmanas were assembled, out of respect, they all stood up to receive him, and they offered him a place to sit.
So Rūpa Goswami, he retired. The Nawab let him go, but the Nawab did not let Sanatan Goswami go. But Sanatan Goswami really now, he didn't want to work anymore. So he told the Nawab, I'm not well. And he was at home. And what was he doing at home? He was studying Bhagavatam with the other Brahmanas. So the Nawab kept calling him, no, I'm sick, I'm sick. Finally, one day the Nawab goes himself to see what's wrong with him. And there he saw he's fully fine and he's studying the Bhagavatam.
You have submitted sick reports, the Nawab told Sanatan Goswami, but I sent my physician to see you, and he reported that you have no illness at all. Since I did not know why you were submitting sick reports and not attending to your service, I have personally come to see you. I am much perturbed by your behavior. As you know, I completely depend on you and your responsible work in government. I was free to act in other matters because I was depending on you. But if you do not join me, your past devotion will be spoiled. Now, what is your intention? Please tell me.
Because Sanatan Goswami was the chief minister of the Nawab. And he was so efficient in his work that the Nawab could go to different places to whatever he needed to do without looking into the day-to-day management. And so now he's like, you're not working now. What do you want to do? I mean, I'm not able to do the other things then.
On hearing this, Sanatan Goswami replied that he was unable to work anymore and that it would be very kind of the Nawab to appoint someone else to execute the work that had been entrusted to him. At this, the Nawab became very angry and said, your elder brother lives like a hunter, and if you retire from the administration, everything will be finished. It was said that the Nawab used to treat Sanatan Goswami like a younger brother. Since the Nawab was principally engaged in conquering different parts of the country and also in hunting, he depended largely on Sanatan Goswami for government administration. Thus, he pleaded with him, if you retire from government service, how will the administration be run? You are the governor of God. Sanatan Goswami replied very gravely, and you punish different kinds of criminals in different ways. So you are at liberty to punish anyone according to his activity. By this reply, Sanatan Goswami indicated that since the governor was engaged in hunting animals and killing men to expand his kingdom, let both of them suffer according to the acts they were performing. The Nawab, being intelligent, understood Sanatan Goswami's purpose. He left the house in an angry mood, and shortly afterwards he went off to conquer Orissa. He ordered the arrest of Sanatan and commanded that he be held until the Nawab returned.
So the Nawab imprisoned Sanatan Goswami. Of course, he went to conquer Orissa, and he is imprisoning Sanatan. Of course, I'm not able to understand this. So you are at a liberty to punish anyone according to his activity, okay, because he's the governor. So then the governor was engaged in hunting animals and in killing men to expand his kingdom, that both of them suffer according to the acts they were performing. Mm. And then the Nawab understood what he's saying, and he went to conquer another country, as it was called before. But anyway, he went to conquer Orissa, and he arrested Sanatan. Okay.
When Rūpa Gosvāmī learned that the Nawab had arrested his elder brother, Sanatan, Rūpa sent Sanatan a message that he could use the 10,000 coins in the care of Bengali grocer to secure his release from Nawab's detention. Having sent this message, Rūpa departed for Vrindavan with his younger brother, Vallabha, to meet Caitanya Mahaprabhu. After receiving Rūpa Gosvāmī's message, Sanatan offered 5,000 of coins to the keeper of the jail in which he was being held in custody. He advised the jail keeper to gladly accept the 5,000 coins from him and let him go, because by accepting the money, he would not only be materially benefited, but also be acting very righteously by freeing Sanatan for spiritual purposes.
So Rūpa Goswami comes to know that now Sanatan is in jail. So he's telling him, I've kept 10,000 coins there. So Sanatan Goswami is saying, okay, he's offering to the jailer, take 5,000 coins and let me go. And Rūpa Goswami goes with Anupam or Vallabh. That's the younger brother, the youngest brother, and then he's gone to Vrindavan to meet Lord Caitanya. So then, of course, let's see what the jailkeeper is telling Sanatan.
Of course, I would like to let you go, the jailkeeper replied, for you have done many services for me and you are in government service. But I'm afraid of the Nawab. When he hears that you are free, I'll have to explain everything to him. How can I accept such a proposal? Sanatan then invented a story the jailkeeper might submit to the Nawab to explain how he had escaped, and he raised his offer to 10,000 points. Anxious to get the money, the jailkeeper agreed to the proposition and let him go.
So the jailer was not very keen to let him go. But okay, so Sanatan said he can take 10,000. And he also made up a story that you tell the Nawab this.
Sanatan then departed to see the Lord. He did not travel on the open road but went through the jungles until he arrived at a place in Bihar called Pataga. There he rested in a hotel, but the hotel keeper was informed by an astrologer employed there that Sanatan Goswami had some gold coins with him. The hotel keeper, wanting to steal the money, spoke to Sanatan with superficial respect. Just take your rest tonight, and in the morning I shall arrange for you to get out of this jungle trap.
So Sanatan, because he did not want to get caught by the Nawab, he was going through the jungles, and he was accompanied by he had taken one person along with him. And that person had gold coins, which Sanatan Goswami was not aware of. And somehow this hotel keeper has come to know. And the way the hotel keeper was talking to Sanatan Goswami could understand, something does not seem to be very, very right.
However, Sanatan was suspicious of his behavior, and he inquired from his servant, Ishana, whether he had some money. Ishana told him that he had 7 gold coins. Sanatan did not like the idea of servant carrying such money. He became angry with him and said, "Why do you carry this death knell on the road?" Sanatan at once took the gold coins and offered them to the hotel keeper. He then requested the hotel keeper to help him through the jungle. Sanatan informed him that he was on a special journey for the government and that since he could not travel on the open road, it would be very kind of hotel keeper to help him through the jungle and over the hills. The hotel keeper replied, "I learned that you had 8 coins with you, and I was thinking of killing you to take them. But I can understand that you are a very good man, and so you don't have to offer me the money. I will get you over this hilly tract of land.
So now,
You don't-
okay, yeah. Mm.
If you don't accept these coins, then someone else will take them from me, Sanatan replied. Someone will kill me for them, so it is better that you take them. I offer them to you. The hotel keeper then gave him full assistance, and that very night he helped him to get past the hills.
So the hotel guy now he's understanding Sanatan Goswami looks like really, he doesn't look like an ordinary person. So he's like, no, I don't want your money, but I'll still I'll help you cross the jungle. Sanatan Goswami is saying, you better take this gold coins. If you don't take it, somebody else will kill me for it. So it's better you take it. So anyway, the hotel keeper helps them to clear the jungle.
When Sanatan emerged from the hills, he requested his servant to go home with the one coin he still had with him. So Sanatan decided he would go on alone. After the departure of his servant, Sanatan felt completely free. With torn clothing and with a water pot in his hand, he proceeded towards Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On the way, he met his rich brother-in-law, who was also in the government service and who offered him an excellent blanket, which Sanatan accepted at his special request. Then he departed from him and went on alone to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Banaras.
So now they cross the jungles. Sanatan Goswami understood Ishana still has one gold coin. He told Ishana, okay, you take that gold coin and you go back to your village. I'm going to go by myself. And he's going to Banaras to meet Lord Chaitanya. On the way, he meets his brother-in-law. And the brother-in-law gives him a very, very expensive chadar. A very expensive blanket. And we will read about it tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and joining in. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.